Ascendant in Aries. To determine if someone has their ascendant in Aries, it is necessary to know the time and place of birth, as the ascendant is the sign that appeared on the horizon at the eastern point at the moment of the first breath, marking a life to learn to be brave and independent. Aries, being a cardinal sign like Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, signifies lessons of initiation and action. As a cardinal fire sign, the Aries ascendant invites a life of being a desire initiator, leading towards action and conflict, often encountering aggressive, determined, independent, and pioneering individuals linked to sports, risk-taking, business, or the military. Surrounded by vertigo and movement, the Aries ascendant may delay its own action, intimidated by an environment where everyone seems to know what they want. Feeling overwhelmed, they may excuse themselves for not finding the ideal moment for their projects, living with the intention of doing something someday, but remaining inactive, believing they are not prepared to pursue their desires. If they do not take action themselves, others will do it for them, trapping them in a repetitive cycle where everyone acts while they continue to postpone their moment of independence. Although they desire to start, they may not know how to do so. Their life's GPS suggests daring to be independent, make decisions, and act on their own to discover the pleasure of deciding for themselves, risking to do things even if they never seem perfect enough. Their motto is, "Melons adjust as you go," implying the need to set their life in motion to discover which projects are feasible and which may fall by the wayside. It is worth distinguishing between having the moon in Aries, being an Aries, and having the ascendant in Aries, as each position entails different characteristics and lessons to learn. The Aries ascendant organizes the astrological houses and leads to specific experiences, even in cases of intercepted signs in natal charts, where not all houses align with the described elements, the matrices of the ascendants, and their corresponding distribution of elements and signs still function. Different learning scenarios for an Aries ascendant. First house in Aries. Brave and pioneering or aggressive and intrusive personal style. While associated with a courageous and vital expression, it warns about a blind and accelerated style of venturing into the world. The Aries ascendant, or the first house, is revealed when destiny prompts them to act independently or take risks unintentionally. How do you discover your personality in the answers you give to destiny? How does it unfold in life? What impression does it make on others? How does it begin and assume individual autonomy? Aries asks for courage and confidence to recognize himself in an impulsive and risky personal style. At discovering himself, he becomes more independent and more courageous. Each time he observes himself, you see yourself doing things, even though you know you cannot control what happens. What happens? The more confident you are in making your own decisions and taking risks to be autonomous, the better he will feel. But in order to trust himself, he first needs to overcome his fear, and his tendency to you will need to overcome your fear, and your tendency to see danger and problems everywhere, and you will need to trust that you will be able to make your own decisions. And he will need to trust that he has the ability to redirect his projects, creatively overcoming adversities and surprises as they arise. And surprises. V house in Leo, secure self-expression or an exaggeratedly egotistical and self-referential personality. Exaggeratedly egotistical and self-referential. The fifth sign of the Aries rising sign is Leo, and it suggests an expansive and joyful way of expressing yourself that will help you to be more self-expressed, and joyful way of expressing yourself that will help you generate your own creative projects. Creative projects. Leo's magnanimous sign in the house of self-expression connects you to the pleasure of showing off. It gives you permission to recognize your need to stand out, and shine in to stand out, and shine in activities that make you happy, and where you can manifest yourself from your heart, and shine in activities that make you happy, and where you can express yourself from the heart. Rejection from your environment. But in a level of tension, it can get out of control and give you an excessive ego and excessive vanity. We must ask ourselves how he generates creativity, how he expresses his art, how he enjoys himself and finds pleasurable activities, and how he relates to his children, with his children. He must learn to give himself wholeheartedly without speculation, for he who speculates doubts, regrets, and is unhappy. Aries is the vertigo of living as the first sign as if no one existed, and for that reason, Leo in the house 5 proposes him to be happy, simply by allowing V proposes you to be happy, simply by allowing yourself to do what you love, without caring about the look of the other, launching the look of the other, to throw oneself into the abyss of the spontaneous, without speculate on whether or not it will be approved by the environment. She also suggests the importance she will give to her children. The bond with them will be a source of motivation and vitality. Permanent vitality. They will be creative and brilliant in your eyes. On the negative side, it may warn of competition of egos, offenses, and claims for attention. House 9 in Sagittarius. Beliefs that broaden views or dogmatism that violates. The 9th rising sign in Aries is Sagittarius and suggests great possibilities for self-reliance, possibilities of self-confidence. You need to believe in your ambitions and projects, but he notices a certain tendency to deny conflicts or to become intransigent in order to impose your desires and beliefs. It is necessary to be attentive to the worldview of reality and the belief system, how he or she finds vocation and searches for his/her truth, how he is a she and seeks his or her truth. What are his or her philosophies of life? Attention should be paid to the search for a higher order, to religious beliefs, and to the relationship with teachers. Religious beliefs and the relationship with teachers, and how he ventures into new territories, travels and new territories, to travel and to connect with foreign countries. Sagittarius, determined and exaggerated, often allows himself little room for hesitation because he panics about fluctuating or losing his way. Once he has finally a project, he needs to be convinced of what he is doing so as not to fear or regret it. Fear or regret. Confidence becomes a priority for his destiny as a risk-taking pioneer. Pioneering risk-taker, but he warns against an excessive need to always be right, and to become always right, and to become intransigent or know-it-all. In addition to carrying a great yearning to find truths to which to surrender himself without antinomies, or guiding figures to follow blindly. Materialization scenarios. House 2 in Taurus. Powerful and committed generation or inertia to remain in a childish economic dependence. Inertia to remain in a childish economic dependence. The second sign of the Ascendant in Aries is Taurus and gives him powerful tools to be able to stand up for himself, tools to be able to fend for himself. It proposes you to develop patience and perseverance to be able to consolidate yourself economically, financially. You will have to learn to be tenacious in order to materialize projects, money, and to continue to insist on those economic projects where others may have given up. Others may have already given up. Also, learn to stop, value, conserve, and enjoy what is generated, and be careful not to become voracious or greedy. Voracious or greedy. It is about seeing how he discovers his talents and values himself, how he produces and generates resources, how you produce and generate resources, your attitude towards wealth and property, and your relationship with money. Relationship with money. Your destiny of Ascendant in Aries proposes you to become free, independent, and pioneering. To do this, you will have to learn to generate and manage your wealth well, but it may take you a long time. You will have to learn to generate and manage your wealth well, but it may take you a long time to feel valuable, to discover what is the right price, and to trust yourself. On a level of tension, Taurus in contact with money warns about the greed or the difficulty to enjoy what you have generated. You will have to overcome your fascination with accumulating by trusting that he can be potent to regenerate money and new resources when needed, and new resources when they are needed. House 6 in Virgo. Efficiency in discerning and discovering what is important or excessive criticism that delays you forever, or excessive criticism that eternally delays your action. The 6th sign of the Ascendant in Aries is Virgo, and suggests the need to find a meticulous order in your life. Order in your daily life in order to reach an efficient pragmatism that does not delay you in irrelevant details or complications. Here it matters the workplace and working relationships with employees or colleagues, bodily health employees or colleagues, bodily health, diet and hygiene. Likewise, how the person functions within a system, and how he or she relates to other living kingdoms, such as animals and plants. Your destiny. Your daily life needs to be orderly, so that it does not take energy away from you. Energy. Everything must function perfectly in order to be able to deal with your true desires. Your true desires. The speed of your Aries destiny requires you to discriminate the important tasks from the unimportant ones, and to know how and with whom you can important tasks from the unimportant ones, and to know how and with whom to distribute your daily obligations with whom and how. House 6, associated with health, proposes to observe in detail your sporting habits and to have a conscious and careful diet in order to be able to walk and run, and careful nutrition to be able to walk agile and light through life. Virgo is in your domicile and gives you maximum talent to discriminate the important from the urgent and to discern the valuable from the unnecessary. Important from the urgent and to discern the valuable from the unnecessary. You have great capacity to organize the daily work. He grasps which talents and tasks to assign to each one. He knows where each person will work best, and where he will, which talents and tasks to assign to each person, knows where each person will work best, and is able to identify which tasks are important or banal. He is able to identify which tasks are important or trivial in the daily work. At a stress level, he can become excessively controlling, critical, and censorious of his, and censorious of your environment, and continually discredit your co-workers. Colleagues. By becoming overly critical and overbearing, you only complicate and delay your Aryan destiny. Your Aryan destiny, risky action. Ex-house in Capricorn. Efficiency and social commitment or rigidity and professional authoritarianism. Professional authoritarianism. The 10th sign of the Ascendant in Aries is Capricorn, and suggests pragmatism and objectivity to develop professionally. You long for to reach a solid and successful place, and to achieve it, he must first overcome his excessive perfectionism. That perfectionism that makes you feel that your knowledge is never enough to go out and show himself in the professional world. Here, we the link with authority figures, father, family mandates, and the ability to generate his professional place in the professional world, the ability to generate their professional place in the world, social status or reputation and public image. Social reputation and public image. His extreme demands inhibit his professional achievements. Their fantasy of perfection delays their employment possibilities. These rigorous mandates often originate from a paternal gaze that did not enable him or that pressured him too much to be successful. Too much pressure to be successful. Healing and overcoming the demands of that bond will be fundamental to be able to loosen his excessive demands. The closer and more compassionate the image of his father, the better he will be able to get along with the authority, and the better he will be able to get along with the authority. And the better you will be able to get along with authority, and the better you will be able to function in your work situation. Capricorn rules the X-house, so if he overcomes his excessive demands, suggests great talent to work with effort and commitment, because he possesses an intuitive watch that leads him to work with effort and commitment. Intuitive watch that leads him to recognize the times and forms of work to be more productive and efficient. You are good enough to be worth the risk of starting your own projects. Pisces leaves you waiting for the right moment ad infinitum and leads you to never take risks, and leads you to never risk taking action. However, if he manages to diminish and activate the talents of the 12th house in Pisces, which gives him maximum wisdom and compassion for all, he may begin to feel that there are no ideals or winners, but possible worlds. No ideals or winners, but possible worlds. You may feel that there is no one perfect, and disarm the fascination with competing, fighting, or winning to become a sensitive warrior. To become a sensitive warrior who executes accurate actions according to what his heart dictates. Pisces dreams of a world that is empathetic and a supportive world, and the Aries Ascendant can make it a reality beyond imperfections and blunders. Summary of the Ascendant in Aries. Modality: Cardinal, Initiator. Element: Fire, Passion. Learning by destiny to be a courageous pioneer, leader, avant-gardist, and risk-taker. Tendency to remain sheltered in known or familiar environments. Suffering: Very determined or even aggressive people. Ruling planet, Mars. Part of the body that rules and of special vulnerability, the head. Fundamental learning period. From 28 to 35 years of age, it usually has its roots in what was lived in the past. Its roots in what was lived between 14 and 21 years of age. Life mission. To be the one who starts what the rest do not dare. Misunderstanding of the mission. Feeling attacked and waiting for others to enable him, her. Others to enable him, her. Distribution of the signs for Ascendant in Aries. Your destination for action is Aries. Generate with Taurus. Communicate with Gemini. Stabilize emotionally with Cancer. Express yourself with Leo. Organize with Virgo. Complement with Libra. Transform with Scorpio. Trust with Sagittarius. Work with Capricorn. Open new projects with Aquarius. Resonate with Pisces. If you find the way to integrate these proposals, you will achieve a destiny of a brave pioneer who takes risks for what he wants. Generate with forcefulness and solidity. Communicate in open and inclusive ways. Be emotionally protective and warm. Express yourself with creativity and joy. Organize in efficient and realistic ways. Recognize that complementing each other enhances and beautifies each other. To accept, to transform, and recycle oneself thoroughly. To trust in enthusiastic ways. To work with responsibility and realism. To be open to new things with creativity and freedom. Resonate with maximum empathy and sensitivity. If you do not find the way to integrate these proposals, you will suffer a destiny of eternal combativeness. Generate resources that enslave you. Communicating in changing and hesitant ways. Being emotionally childish and dependent. Be arrogant and prone to take offense. Organize in obsessive and controlling ways. Complimenting oneself by doubting eternally. Panic every time he/she transforms. Trusting in blind and dogmatic ways. Generate or suffer from authoritarianism and excessive work demands. Difficulty to engage with friends and disconnect from new projects. Delay in spells and ideals that keep him away from building real projects.